And good morning to you, meteorologist Joey Sovine here at the Live 5 Alert Desk with an update on your Thursday morning, the very latest on Hurricane Erin, which is thankfully past our area now, starting to move away. So we are going to start to see conditions improve along the coast, but it's going to take a little while. Hurricane Erin is moving away from us now, pulling away from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Still, dangerous rip currents do continue to be a concern, and some minor coastal flooding possible about 7 to 8 o'clock this evening as we just have a little bit of excess water, so the tides are running about a half foot to a foot above what they normally would otherwise. But there we go. Tropical satellite imagery this morning showing this storm system. Notice the red starting to fade away, especially in the northern quadrant and the northwestern quadrant of this storm system, indicating that we are looking at this storm starting to feel the impacts of running into slightly cooler water. There's some upper level wind shear that's starting to play a factor as well. So it's a little bit more disheveled or disorganized than it was 24 hours ago, but still a Category 2 hurricane. Erin has winds at 105 miles per hour, moving to the north and northeast, located roughly about 200 miles to the east of Cape Hatteras. The good news is the heavy rain and the strong winds stayed off of the Outer Banks. They did get some breezy conditions. Biggest concern, of course, out at the Outer Banks with the storm passing by is some tidal surge flooding because of just how vulnerable it is out there and some of those islands out on the Outer Banks. So this storm system is pulling away from us, moving farther away over time. But anytime you get a big storm out in the Atlantic with all that wave energy that's created and kind of brought across the Atlantic up against the East Coast, it takes a while for it to start to subside. So we have a high surf advisory through 5 o'clock this afternoon. Still some waves. 6 feet, probably a little bit higher than what we'll see today. I think we're more in that 4 to 5 foot range this morning, and then maybe 3 to 4 foot this afternoon. And it will continue to come down as we go through the next 24 hours. But we do continue with the high risk of rip currents. So stay out of the water again today. High risk of rip currents again tomorrow as well. But you can see those wave heights really starting to come down. And then as we get into the weekend, we're looking at about 2 to 3 foot waves out there. A moderate risk of rip currents at the beaches. So it may still be a couple more days before we can give it the all clear. It would be a weekend where you have to be extra careful out in the ocean. Now, outside of the ocean, that's our real only impacts we're seeing from Erin and ever will. Behind that, we have a game of many different colors. We have yellow, orange, and red on the map, and you can see the top and the legend there. That means we have one tropical disturbance with a low chance, one with a medium, and one with a high chance of development. How many do we need to be concerned about? Right now, 0. It doesn't look like any of these are going to be an issue going forward. This one out here, the orange one, off the coast of Africa, it's got a medium chance of development. It would likely be very short-lived. It is going to be a really far south, and eventually this will likely fade away. So that doesn't have much of a long-term future. The yellow one just popped up today. That has a low chance of development. That popped up because there is a weak area of low pressure that quickly spun up overnight. But most models not really doing anything with it. It doesn't matter. It's in an area where it would likely not come westward. The area shaded in red, that is a tropical disturbance that is most likely to develop. If it does, next name up on the list is Fernand. Looks like Fernand, but it's Fernand. That's the next name up. This is possibly developing over the next couple of days. Let's say the weekend would be the best chance. It close to the northern Windward Islands here, but this is going to be moving in a direction where it should not be an issue for the U.S. We have a trough digging into the southeast. That's what's kicking Erin to the north, and this will kind of see Erin turning to the north and turn even quicker than that. So none of these are a concern to us over the upcoming days. We do have some high clouds out there this morning. Do want to real quickly look ahead at what our weather is going to do over the next couple of days, because we've talked a lot about the tropics. The biggest story for us outside of the rip currents out at the beaches is what's going to move in from our north and west, and that's a cold front. Today should be mainly dry, but starting tomorrow, even tomorrow morning, we could have a little bit of rain out there, but the chance of rain is going to go up as we go into the weekend as this front kind of settles in. This is about the fourth weekend in a row we've had a front move in and led to above average coverage of rainfall, and also with a lot of clouds around. Those temperatures behind that front on Saturday will likely only be in the low to mid 80s for highs. So it's going to bring down the temperatures. It's going to be a cloudy start to the weekend, likely dealing with some rain out there. And you can see those wind arrows all coming on shore. That's why we're going to continue with a moderate risk of rip currents. I think if this front wasn't coming in, we'd be able to drop that risk down to low, but we have that front, which is going to increase that concern for rip currents a bit out at the beaches this weekend. Although with the clouds around, perhaps on Saturday you wouldn't want to go to the beach anyway. Sunday likely leaning towards the better of the two weekend days, as we should be a little bit drier out there. Once again, that's the very latest on Hurricane Erin, as we're kind of concluding things as it's now moved past us and is moving away from the U.S., passing about 200 miles off the coast of the Outer Banks this morning. So dangerous rip currents continue to be a concern. Stay out of the water. There'll likely be some minor coastal flooding this evening. Places like downtown Charleston between 7 and 8 o'clock or so. There may be a couple of streets that have to be closed temporarily. Nothing we're not used to. And if that's the worst that we get out of this storm, I think we're going to be doing okay. Those three other areas out in the Atlantic, no worries there. But of course, we'll keep you updated if anything changes, and still have a ways to go in hurricane season, not even to the peak yet, which occurs on September 10th. That's a look at your forecast from right here at the Live 5 Alert Desk. Make sure you download the Live 5 First Alert Weather app for updates there. Have a good day.